Paul Rumler, President and CEO for the Quad Cities Chamber. It's my honor to be here today, and I was asked to give an introduction from Mayor Gallagher. At the Quad Cities Chamber, we believe in creating a prosperous region for all to thrive. I see many of our members in the room with us today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us to hear about the future of the city of Bettendorf. Like many of you, the Chamber is one of hundreds that have endorsed Q2030, our region's action plan. Our role in that in our community is to help facilitate business and economic growth. In order to do that, it requires a strong collaborative partnership with many organizations. In particular, our public sector partners are extremely important throughout the region, and here in the Quad Cities, we're fortunate to have many that have dedicated their lives and their time towards advancing our region's goals. So thank them for all that they're doing. I know many of them are here with us today. Specifically to Bettendorf, I have an opportunity to witness the great leadership of this city on a weekly basis. With many of the chamber ambassadors that are here in the room today, we always have some ribbon cuttings, and it's very obvious to see that this city pays attention to its community. It's dedicated to advancing the goals for its residents and its businesses, and it's not just a one-time effort. Whenever we're at a ribbon cutting, we can tell that the city leaders, whether it be elected officials, city council, or the city staff, have a true relationship with those businesses and residents who are making their investment in this community, and that's very appreciative. So now back to the bio. I have a long one-page bio.
I didn't write that thing.
I heard it just got updated. So let's just say that Mayor Gallagher is Mr. Bettendorf. He's done everything that there is possibly to do in this city, and I asked him if there's anything that he wanted me to highlight off of his bio, and he said just one thing. And Jennifer, thank you for being in his life with your 5 kids. I know you have a busy schedule. Thanks for being part of that. And thanks for making sure that Bob looked good today. His tie looks marvelous. Thanks for picking that out. So Bob is engaged in everything in this community. He spends a lot of time representing the city of Bettendorf and the Quad Cities region outside of this community as well. He's co-chair for the Mississippi River and Cities and Towns Initiative. He's vice chair for the Bi-State Regional Commission, and serves as on the board of directors for the Scott County Emergency Communications Center. He's currently serving his 9th year as mayor. So welcome Bob Gallagher to the stage as we hear about the future of the city of Bettendorf.
Thank you, Paul. Can I be heard in the back? Tremendous. Okay. Thank you, Paul. And thank you to the Chamber. Thank you to the Kiwanis Club. Thank you to the Rotary for sponsoring today's event. Thanks also to the aisle and the staff here at the wonderful Waterfront Convention Center. You guys always do a great job for us. It's really comforting to walk in and know the people that are here, know that they're going to put an excellent product out for you to consume at lunch, and their smiling faces will continue to bring you what you need. It's really nice for us at the city not to have to worry about that part of things as we deliver today's State of the City address. There are a lot of dignitaries in the room that I'd like to introduce. I understand that this may be a lot, so give me a couple of seconds. We'll do them by category, and we'll save our applause until the end of the category. I'm pleased that I have a couple of my partners as mayors in this Quad City region with me today. The new mayor of Davenport, Mike Madsen, is here. Mike, can you please stand? And the mayor of Moline, Stephanie Acree, is here. Let's give them a round of applause. We meet about 13 times each month on all kinds of different committees and commissions to make sure that your tax dollars are being spent well throughout the entire region, helping to grow the region together. So thank you very much, both of you, for your partnership. We also have some folks here from the Scott County Board. I'd ask Board Chair Tony Kenobi to stand, Ken Beck to stand, and Mahesh Sharma. Mahesh, thank you very much for being here. He's our Scott County Administrator. Let's give these 3 gentlemen a nice round of applause. Thank you to Joe from Senator Ernst's office, John from Senator Grassley's office, and Brian from Congressman Loebsack's office. 2 out of the 3 are here. Please stand. Yes, sir. Good to see you. Thank you, and thank your bosses for the great work that they're doing representing our community. We share a lot of hard work together. We're going to come see you in Washington in a couple of weeks, so be ready for us and our thank yous, but our list of the things we'd like to see happening moving forward. Appreciate you all being here. Dave Harrell is here from the Visit QC. Dave, thank you for being here. And Denise Bulat from Bi-State Regional Commission. Denise is here. Will you please stand? These are great people doing great things in our local community. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Bettendorf Park Board is well represented. Chairman Larry McCobin is here. Tom Drigg is here. Steve Wilger is here, as is Tim Carroll. Will you all stand, please, and be recognized? We are one of few cities that continue to have an elected park board. We're very happy with the work that you perform. I get an honor and privilege to stand before you today to talk about the good things that are happening in Bettendorf, but this is truly a team effort, including our park board. But the next folks who we're going to introduce to you are really where the rubber meets the road. We have a form of government that has a weak mayor and a strong council. That means I don't have a vote on anything, right? And as I gain weight and get weaker and older, that's also true. But for purposes of the conversation today, the council has the vote, and we have to continue to work with the council as they set long-term priorities and policy for the city. That's handed down to our city administrator, who works with our department heads to carry out yearly work plans that we'll talk about today. So it's an honor and privilege to work with this great team. I'm going to start by introducing our city council members. Please hold your applause until we get them all introduced. Today from City Council, we have Frank Baden, Lisa Brown. They are our council people at large. Jerry Sexer, Scott Nauman, Bill Connors, Greg Adamson, and Scott Webster. Those folks are the Bettendorf City Council. They do an awesome job. Please give them a round of applause. They work very hard on that long-term plan that we're going to talk about. They hand it off to our city administrator, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway, Decker Plain. Decker, stand up for me. Right here. On the chair. We're blessed to have great staff throughout the city of Bettendorf, staff that work on a culture of a can-do attitude. And the people that top down that attitude are our department heads. I'm going to go through that list. I asked each department head to please stand. We'll hold our applause to the end. Sue Mannix is the library director. Kim Kidwell, the director of the Family Museum. Our police chief is Keith Kimball. Our director of human resources is Kathleen Richland. John Sankson is retiring from community development this year. John, thank you for your years of service. We're going to give you a round of applause because you're special today. Thank you, John. Our Director of Public Works is Brian Schmidt. Jeff Reiter is our Director of Economic Development. Chris Curran is our Legal Counsel. Liz Solis-Willis heads up Parks and Recreation. Our Fire Chief is Steve Knorik, and our finance team is led by Jason Schatt. Let's give them all a round of applause. Good people doing good things in the city of Bettendorf, where our vision is to be a livable community with rich educational and cultural recreational opportunities where we enjoy a vibrant riverfront and a competitive business advantage. And today I get to tell you about all the work that is going on to reach this vision. Lots of great things are happening in Bettendorf. And one of the best reasons that we continue to move forward is a purposeful, scheduled session of goal setting. For 5 hours on a Friday, 8 to 10 hours on that following Saturday, 6 to 8 hours on the next Sunday. We're cooped up in City Hall, working together with department heads and city council to create the goals of the city, the 5 goals that haven't changed in the 8 years I've been in office. This is a great opportunity for us to purposefully work together. The 2021 budget will incorporate all kinds of action items within those 5 goals that the city continues to have. First, you've heard me talk about this before. The basement level, in my opinion, of any city is to continue to be financially sound and provide excellent city services to the community. Public safety is number 1 for this city council, and you're going to see as we continue to grow at about 1.5% per year in population over the last 10 years on average, and about almost 5% in valuation during that same time period, that we will be expecting some increases in staffing levels, especially in public safety in the coming years. Number 2, we want to grow our current businesses and attract businesses to Bettendorf. We've been doing a great job of that in many corridors of the city we'll talk about today. 3, we want to create a destination for entertainment and living in the downtown and riverfront corridor. You see 2 cornerstone buildings that went up last year we talked about. I get to share some more good news about things coming to the downtown and hopefully even to the riverfront in the coming years. 4th, we want orderly growth and quality development. Many of the areas of growth in our city have overlaid districts that contain building specifications, use of materials. These are things we worked together with builders to create. Builders, when they create a new building or a new development, want to put something nice there that's going to last forever. And they don't want it to be next to another building that may not be built to those specifications. You're going to see examples of how this is in the works in downtown Bettendorf as we speak. All of this comes together to create what we strive for, and that is to be a premier place to live, work, and play in the Quad Cities. So, that basement level starts with a financial report. I'm going to tell you where we've been and where we're going. So let's take a look at 2019-2020. During that year, Bettendorf had the lowest general fund levy in the state of Iowa. In comparing the 38 cities over 10,000 people, the lowest general fund levy in the state of Iowa. That means we do more with less in personnel than any other city in Iowa. We also have plenty of room to grow. The state sets our general fund levy cap at $8.10. We're at about $5.26 during the calendar year of 1920, which incidentally ends June 30th, 2019, and we're going to talk about what we see in the future starting on July 1. So thanks to department heads who run a lean ship, this is a great thing for us to be able to tout. We continue to be an excellent value. If you take a look at the mean value of a Bettendorf home, which is now $242,000, we, in comparison, do a great job of stacking up. It's a very good value to live in the city of Bettendorf. If you add to the value of the general fund levy what each Bettendorf resident or commercial property tax owner pays in sewer, stormwater, and collection fees for waste, you see that we fall number 11. Very competitive. You also can see on that graph who's ahead of us. Folks in the center of the state. They don't deal with floods, with contamination into their systems in the sewers like we do living on a river. So that's one of the reasons why we have more projects in storm and wastewater than some of our friends in the center of the state. We are the leanest operating city in the general fund of the 38 cities above 10,000. I know I said it twice, but I'm pretty proud of that. 2.87% of your family's income goes to pay for the city services you receive from the city of Bettendorf. That's streets and sewers, police and fire, family museum, libraries, pools, golf courses, all of the amenities at 2.87% as a percentage of household income. Again, another statistic to prove that it is a great value. It continues to be a great value to live here for a couple of reasons. Growth and our great community schools, who are represented today. Superintendent Brian Struess is here. Brian, give me a wave. Thank you very much. He's a Pleasant Valley superintendent of schools. We have 2 great school systems, and we'd be remiss if we didn't partner with them and understand the great value they bring to economic development. We're building on average 140 new homes in Bettendorf each year over the past 10 years. Those values continue to raise, as I said, at almost 5%. It's a great time to be here. The 2021 budget is almost $99 million. That's a 2.8% increase over last year's budget. Minimal when you consider cost of living increases we provide to our employees, merit increases our employees earn by doing such a great job for our city. We're going to hire 6 new firefighters who will be housed at the Surrey Heights Fire Station, at least 2 paid firefighters in conjunction with the volunteer firefighters. So we'll have a 24-hour staff with at least 2 on at each time. Each firefighter is about a nickel on the levy, so you're going to see the levy increase about 30 cents. It's going to go from $12.50 to $12.80 in the name of public safety in our growing city. Again, a great value. We continue to see lean operating in our budgets moving forward and aggressive capital. When you think capital improvements, think those streets and sewers. resurfacing of Middle Road, Forest Grove that needs some work happening this year. All the street projects we did in conjunction with the I-74 bridge, removing those 100-year sewers and putting in new sewers. These are great projects that need to be done. This is a forward-thinking approach to ensuring the stability of our city in the future. And lastly, this builds on the foundation of a financially sustainable future by removing some reliance upon some sources of income, like gaming and sales tax, and by creating a way to do our projects in our stormwater and our wastewater sewer projects without having to bond. We have been incrementally increasing those rates so that we could get to a point where we wouldn't have to bond for those projects within those enterprise funds. That's responsible financial planning. It's taken us a while to get there. We're almost there. We were able to reduce the amount of the increase this year, hoping to be able to top out and still do projects within the fund. When we talk about reducing our reliance in the general fund on gaming and sales tax, while we have a floor that we receive from our friends at the aisle, that money had been going in a larger percentage to other enterprise funds to offset deficits at the Family Museum or the library, the pool or the golf course. Those kinds of things that our residents have come to expect out of the city of Bettendorf. As we reduce the reliance on gaming and put more of that burden in the general fund, it frees up money for those catastrophic events. Think maybe a flood, where we have a whole bunch of overtime that maybe wasn't budgeted for as a result of like last year's record-breaking flood. Or possibly some money that could be used as an economic development tool to create something on the riverfront that would increase the taxes in the future. Council will have an ability to be a little bit more nimble in creation of or overcoming certain obstacles. So it's a good thing. Here's the budget highlights. As you can see on the top line, the general fund levy ticks up as we discussed. The health insurance levy is on a reduction thanks to Kathleen Richland and the folks in our Human Resources Department, primarily in the introduction of a wellness program. Lots of good things are happening there. You can see the police and fire pension is going up. That's a function of what the state forces us to pay. They handle the police and fire pension, so that's gone up a little bit. And the other levies remain basically the same. You're going to see that 30-cent increase, which will allow us to hire those 6 firefighters. We remain very financially conservative and stable. Because of the low general fund levy, we have plenty of room in case that catastrophe comes our way. We could increase that levy to raise millions, okay? That's not our plan, but when we go out for a bond or for a financial rating, these are the things that they look to. They want to make sure our fund balances are strong. We can operate the city for 90 days without any new tax money. Our policy is to have 20 to 25% in reserves in all of our funds. We have about 25% across the board, so we're very, very healthy. Here's the annual impact of the fees and the charges. The resident in a $242,000 house, again the mean value, or a $500,000 commercial piece of property will pay. As you can see, it's about $18 to that resident for those firefighters per year, or less than a cup of coffee at the new Starbucks on AAA Court or the new Coffee Hound at Tbk, right? 1 cup of coffee a month. That's good news. We have lots of great things happening throughout the city that help us to keep that tax levy low. It's growth. It's always been about growth and families here in Bettendorf. This is something we talked about when I introduced the mayors and our county board chairs. We have great examples of working together to do the right thing for our community. The cities of Davenport, Bettendorf, Riverdale, and Panorama Park have inked a new 2080 agreement or intergovernmental agreement so that we can move forward in doing some upgrades to our wastewater treatment facility. We have a compost facility that works fantastic in our community. And we have an interceptor sewer line from the 1970s that runs from Riverdale to South Davenport that takes everything when you flush the toilet into our wastewater treatment plant. We want to make sure that we stay on top of the upgrades in these areas, and we'll work together to do that. This is a great example of working together. Working together with local developers, we in the downtown have created those two cornerstone projects we talked about last year, the Essentra Credit Union corporate headquarters and the Bridges Lofts. We thought, and I told you last year, I really believe that would spur development, and guess what? It's working just as planned. Immediately across the street from the lofts, you're going to see a very similar looking building because of our overlay district. The same use of materials and colors. It's going to be cool. It's a 65,000 square foot, 4-story building for commercial and retail restaurant use. This is going to be another great addition to downtown Bettendorf as we continue to build and come out of the construction of the I-74 bridge corridor. We have a new downtown business organization. The CEO is Ryan Jancy. We're very lucky to have Ryan. He's doing an awesome job. In fact, the downtown businesses have created a geographic location in which they have all agreed to self-tax the businesses through property taxes called a Schmidt. We'll collect extra property taxes at the state level, refund it back to them because they've all decided to pay those. They will create a board of directors who will determine where that money is spent. Think of things like events or beautification or trying to lure people through advertising or other means downtown to patronize those businesses that are part of this Schmidt. We've seen this work beautifully in other cities in our Quad City region. It's time we give it a try here. Ryan's just the guy to get it done. You know about the I-74 bridge project. It's a wonderful project that will continue to join our region. We are a bit behind, but 20 of the 30 steel arch segments have been placed. The other 10 will be placed this spring. It's gonna abut. No worries. It's gonna work. Decker's got it going right here. We're gonna be fine. The Iowabound Bridge will then be completed in the fourth quarter of this year. We'll use it as a 2-lane bridge, and it's going to be better than the one we have now. And then we're going to see the second half go up. Stick with us. I know detours are a pain, but this is going to be phenomenal. It really is going to be amazing. If you move up the I-74 corridor, you can see that on a tentative date of March 6th, we're going to open the Eagle View Behavioral Health Facility, a great facility to provide wonderful services that this community sorely needs. Plus, it's going to add $15 to $16 million on our tax rolls because they have no incentives for this facility. It's going to be a great facility. We hope that you'll come see us. We believe we're going to do this at 9 o'clock on May 6th. The former lodge site has been overtaken by CDCQ. They're doing an awesome job, brought us a beautiful new Home 2 suites. A quick start, because we need one of those on every corner, apparently. They are going everywhere. And a new upgraded strip mall for the front of it. It's very exciting to see new development in the dilapidated spots that we used to have. There are 3 acres available, so if you want to be part of this in the hottest corner in the Quad Cities, call CDCQ today. That's my plug. AAA Court. This is an example of great infill development. You see that the Starbucks is already there, but you're going to see contemporary townhomes being built behind it that will open yet this year. This area had been left without development for lots of years. This is a great opportunity to do infill development in that orderly growth goal that council has set. One of 2 senior living facilities that will be built or started this year is coming online very soon. We're also doing some ribbon cuttings for the Summit by Wellspire. This is a group that's going to bring all kinds of new development to this area in conjunction with Genesis Health Systems, who will put a healthplex right there on the same piece of property. You're looking at 100 different living apartments and all kinds of different adjustments to that living situation as folks age and may need some more care. This is going to be really a city within itself. There'll be a restaurant or 2 that will be open to the public. There'll be all kinds of things to do in this area right at 53rd and Middle Road. Tbk Bank did what I told you it was going to do, and we're so pleased. We're so happy that we are bringing people to this area. This is the Midwest's largest youth sports complex. In the first year, this facility has hosted all kinds of things, from rugby to football, baseball to soccer, All kinds of things are happening at TBK. It's been used for corporate events, for family events. They've got stuff for kids, the 5 lanes. They've got all kinds of stuff happening at TBK. Most importantly, development around TBK, right? It brought the development we'd hope it would bring. If you want to shop local, go to Red's Threads. It's a great little boutique. Eat food at Freshie or the Foundry, owned by local people. Certainly there's Subways and other things, but this is a great opportunity for us to support our local businesses. Some $30 to $38 million of investment as a result of that Tbk Sports Complex. Thanks to TBK, we've had over 10,000 rooms rented in our hotels this past year. We've had over $13 million in tourism money pumped into the region. $38,000 of commercial investment. 140 employees work there. This has been an awesome addition and will continue to grow. Soon you'll see a new RIA Federal Credit Union, Twin Span Brewing, Enterprise Rent-A-Car Training Facility, and Trillium Staffing opening their doors at the TBK site. 3 corners remain. Get your plans to us soon. We've been talking about a feasibility study for our aging structures and the amenities that we have for years. We've talked to you about the amount of money it would take to make the community center ADA compliant, to fix a pool that is 10 years past its useful life, and to make the fixes at the fitness center to bring it up to a competitive advantage. Those fixes are $12 to $15 million. So the group that we put together, mostly comprised of citizens, but some from council and some from our staff, has come up with a new plan to see if we can't convince the Bettendorf voters to say yes to a referendum to replace those facilities at about $38 million. That would go a long way to creating structures that will be with us for 50 to 100 years instead of putting Band-Aids and ADA compliance on those that we have that are so aging. So about $15 million or so for an outdoor aquatic facility. It bumps up some more for the community center, but that's a much needed piece in our community. We have Alcoholics Anonymous that meet there. We have a food pantry. We have Senior Card Club. We have a Bettendorf Park Band. We have all kinds of different athletic events for people who don't maybe necessarily recreate on a daily basis. Most of the folks look like me that are playing volleyball, right? We're out there trying to do something to stay in shape, and maybe we're not playing in the sand volleyball leagues at the bars. This is a much needed component to create a healthy community. So add that and maybe some fitness equipment, and you're at about $38 million. So the Friends of the Bettendorf Park are going to put this together. They're going to come out to you for a referendum, and they're going to ask the citizens, is this the type of community we want to continue to be in Bettendorf? I think it probably will be. This is the concept plan for the pool. It's going to be kind of down from the exact location it is now, maybe by the baseball diamond that's there. You can see the slides. You can see the wave pool, or not the wave pool, but the kind of lazy river thing. It's going to be a cool thing, but it's going to be on a pretty small tract of land, so it's not going to be over the top. This is really a community pool. Once that's built, phase 2 will be that community center with some recreation components, but really it's those meeting rooms and the park band space that we continue to want to support in Bettendorf. Another great example of cooperation with the City of Davenport is the creation of broadband fiber to the premises throughout both cities. I'm sure you've seen MetroNet trucks all over the place doing all kinds of different work. We're going to be built out at about $20 million in infrastructure costs to them by the end of this year. In fact, this month, Bettendorf residents are coming online. This is happening all through Davenport as well. One of the important criteria site selectors use is communication connectivity. Do you have fiber? Do you have broadband? Can we work in the Quad Cities? Bring our corporate headquarters to you and still communicate with the world? The answer is yes. Here are the top 10 capital improvement projects for the City of Bettendorf next year. You can see $1.5 million at the Forest Grove Park. We're going to talk a little bit about our partnership there with the Pleasant Valley Community School District. Again, partnerships to do more with less for all of the taxing bodies, be they Moline or Davenport, Scott County, or a school board. You can see we've got some money set aside for the I-74 bridge obligation. That includes that 13-foot wide cantilever bike path, the 2 cargo bay elevator to get handicaps and bikers and anybody who wants to be on that bike path to the glass cutout where you can see down to the barges or watch the sunset over the 2 beautiful bridges downstream in Rock Island and Davenport. This is going to be an awesome project, but it does cost the city some money. You can see we're doing some work on multiple different roads. We're looking at 18th Street, Forest Grove, Middle Road, Greenbrier. We have some static usual things, resurfacing, alleys. These are the $15 million of projects that you will see happening in Bettendorf this year. We continue to be rated very high in those amenities we talked about earlier. Remember, we have to be financially stable, safe, and provide great services. But on top of that, Bettendorf has been known for family and community. We are building community. As you look forward to these city facilities, these are the great amenities that we've had. You know, I told you last year, I thought when we went digital, libraries would die. Not our library. Sue Mannix has done a fantastic job. She's got all kinds of programming, over 277,000 visitors, accessed over 750,000 periodicals and pieces. It's a wonderful thing. She's got great things for kids. She's doing a summer reading program, touching thousands of kids. Face Field is home to our summer concert series that increases in attendance about 50% a year. I'm sure you'll see that number go up. The library has been an awesome spot for all ages on our campus that it shares, the Learning Campus, with the Family Museum. The Family Museum, while it's home to all kinds of regular programs like Scarecrow Shenanigans and New Year's Eve that had 1,400 people attend it this year, Winterfest that raised enough food and money to feed 9,100 people in this community that are food insecure, this is going to be, on top of that, one of the greatest years for our Family Museum. We're bringing the Thomas the Train exhibit here. It's all about STEM, learning in science, technology, engineering, and math. It'll be fantastic. And to top it off, the Lucky Climber is coming. They're building the Lucky Climber. The museum board went out, had a goal to raise $500,000 to put this one-of-a-kind climber in the library, and they surpassed the goal. This is going to allow us to attract people from all over to this one-of-a-kind climber. Kids will climb from the first floor to the second floor. We're going to redo some clay and art studios into a brand new makerspace. Great opportunity to visit the Family Museum this year. Top of the list. Parks and Recreation continues to see overhaul and additional amenities. Forward-thinking people, we're doing the bike pass. We're doing Frozen Landing that has great attendance. It's up yet again. Some 18,000 guests to Frozen Landing. If we could just get the weather to cooperate, we're going to have that thing rolling. Palmer Hills is getting a bit of a facelift, an 18-hole championship putting course. This is going to allow you to stop after work, maybe putt for an hour and a half, get through the course, have a beer, get home without having to play golf for 5 hours. We're seeing how society is changing, and the folks in Parks and Recreation are looking ahead to continue to service in a different way, a different model. This will be open in April of 2021. We're going to continue to improve those things that we already have. We've improved parking at Crow Creek, mostly because of deck hockey. I mean, think of it. Nobody else has deck hockey. Who's got deck hockey, gaga ball, and a disc course that's one of the best in the state? We do, but we have to keep that stuff up, right? This is forward-thinking, different games, and we've got some more parking area for those folks who love deck hockey. Forest Grove Park, in conjunction with our friends at the Pleasant Valley Community School District who are putting together Forest Grove School, we're moving dirt together. Same contractor, same time. We're putting in sewers, same contractor, same time. We're putting in parking lots, 145 spaces that they'll use during the day, and the park folks will use at night and weekends. This makes complete sense, right? But you have to think about this in a forward way and work with partners. Thank you, Brian and the folks in the back at the Community School District for Pleasant Valley. That's going to be an awesome place to play tennis or pickleball. There'll be a hardscape next to the great lawn. It's going to be beautiful, and it's a great partnership. We continue to get awards and recognition, and I tell you each year the top 3 are the ones that are most important to me. They're based on great work that Jason Schatt does in finance. They are the Distinguished Budget Award. I can't read back there. The Excellence in Financial Reporting Award, both for over 20 years, and the Performance Measure Award that's been here for the 8 years I've been here. That Performance Measure Award allows us to take objective criteria in budgeting and make sure that we're following best practices. It's a reportable ability to say, you know what, this is what we're doing, it fits best practices, and here's the objective criteria that get us there. This is important for us. We've got lots of great other awards there. We have two wonderful people in the fire department, Captain Matt Lawson, Assistant Chief said. They have got humanitarian awards for their work. We want to continue to have great people working here with great skills and hold them up to accolade when we get great awards like that. We were able to do that at our city council meeting just last night. Palmer Hills, 7 years as locals love us, highest rated golf course. We're proud of that. I think, again, some of that's in ingenuity, looking forward. Does it take a little money to do? Yes, but in the long run, it reduces that deficit, and everybody enjoys that amenity just a little bit more. So in closing, I'd like to thank you all for being here. This is a record crowd. We hold 200 people. We got 197 or something like that, so I really appreciate it. We're a live stream. Thank you to WQAD. This is a great message to share, and I'm glad that you came to hear it. Thank you very much to the folks who work for the city who make this such an easy speech to give each and every year. Department heads, Decker, thank you all very much. Please have a great day.